Hello and welcome back to another episode of a Cozy Christmas podcast. My name is Art, and we're off to New York City again. In today's episode, I will be interviewing Chris and Kris from Christmas Time in the City podcast. It's one of my favorite podcasts, which I say about pretty much all the podcasts I listen to, but I really do enjoy this one. Chris and Kris are a married couple that live in New York City, and I'm really excited to have them on the show to play some fun trivia games. They like to put their guests through some quizzes and trivia games, and they have a lot of fun with that. So I thought I'd have them on and kind of turn the tables on them and give them some Iowa-based trivia questions to see how well they fare. And maybe I made the questions too easy. This was my first time trying it out, so we'll see. But they both did very well. It could just be that both Chris and Kris are very, very intelligent. That's possible. Okay. Just kidding. Yeah, they're very smart. Wonderful, wonderful couple. And it was a joy to sit down with them the other night and talk Christmas, talk Iowa, and make some jokes at Iowa's expense. So settle in and enjoy this interview with Chris and Kris from Christmas Time in the City podcast. What happens when you take a married couple with a love for Christmas in New York City and sit them down in front of a microphone? It's Christmas Time in the City podcast, and it has done the impossible. It's made me want to visit New York City. So please welcome Chris and Kris from Christmas Time in the City.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was going to go Minnesotan on you and say, oh, yeah, you betcha. Yeah. But yeah, glad to have you on. Your, and I mean that, your podcast really has sold me over to New York City. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's
we've
good.
done our job then, if that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
If nothing else, I'm willing to visit the city. So
Love it.
Well, folks, some of our listeners might not know who you are. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
We have a podcast called Christmas Time in the City, like you mentioned, where we talk about Christmas in New York City and the history and like traditions of those things. And we talk about what's going on, where the Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center comes from, what they do with the wood afterwards. We talk about all the fun things you can do, all the different holiday markets, and we try to showcase all the fun things about Christmas in New York City that we love to the people that either can't come here or do come here and want to know a little bit more before they do.
When I first came across your podcast, I thought, I don't know if I really want to listen to that. I mean, I've lived in small towns most of my life, so big cities scare me, to be honest. But I started listening, and I just, you guys really have a great vibe, and you can tell you love your city and love Christmas. So that won me over for sure.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice.
There's all kinds of iconic Christmas sites around New York. As a Christmas fan, I gotta get there at some day. So
yeah, I think any fan of Christmas, it's a must to see New York City at least one time during Christmas time.
We'll be waiting for you with bells on.
Okay. Shirt and pants would be okay too, but no, just bells. Okay. Now you know why I'm scared of New York. Yeah. Yeah. So this might be too broad of a question, but a first-time visitor to New York City, how do we do it? What's the best way? What's not necessarily even at Christmas time, although that's when I would want to come, but walk me through how to do that.
Sure. Well, we just had friends here that they were taking their son here for the first time. He's young. He's only 5. So, with this, we had kind of the same conversation with them, except we were looking for family friendly activities, that kind of thing. So there's different routes you can go depending on what you're really looking to do. But you got to just kind of start off with the main stuff, like right in the middle, throw it in, because if you're thinking about New York City, you're thinking about the big buildings, you're thinking about Central Park and Rockefeller Center, you're thinking about, the Empire State Building, knowing all of the basics to hit. And then, we, of course, Statue of Liberty, everyone wants to see it. So there's a couple tips that we have to try to see that without having to do the whole cruise line and things like that. So, my advice would just be like right in the center, Midtown, really just throw yourself right into the middle of it all. And after that, second visit, third visit, start to expand out. There's so much more to see here, but for first time, you got to get it like just like a big impact right away.
Just jump in and don't think about it.
Yeah. It's especially in Midtown. Midtown is fairly safe. You're inevitably going to hear horror stories about things in any place. This place is no exception. Midtown is pretty safe. So if you are planning on having a trip over to the city, I would aim for there just because you'll have a good time. It's not necessarily like Disney World, but it's very similar to Disney World.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tourist destination.
Yeah,
the whole area.
Yeah, so they want to make it, well, possibly they want to make it easy for folks to get around and at least be safe and all that. So
exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff close together up there too. So if you're nervous about taking public transportation right away, something like that, just like a simple car ride is not going to break the bank because you're close to everything right in the middle there.
I say that hopefully they want you to be safe and find your way, but Iowa has this habit of leading you almost all the way to a destination and then stopping with the signs or stopping with directions. If you're trying to find the zoo, it'll get you close, but not actually to the zoo. And that last mile, you're just kind of on your own.
Oh gosh.
They do it all the time and it drives us crazy. It's like,
that's so strange. That's so funny.
One more sign would have been helpful.
Right. They wanted to make it an adventure for you.
I guess so. I guess they think, well, by this point you can't miss it. I don't know.
Right. Just keep going. You'll find it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it sounds like, if anyone comes to visit New York City, they can give you guys a call and you can give them the nickel tour, huh?
Yeah.
They can certainly email us. I wouldn't call. I don't answer the phone for anyone.
Oh yeah, I don't do that either.
But if you can email us or hit us up on social media, we're more than happy to give advice. And if we are out in the city and you're someone that we may know or want to meet, then there's a good chance we might meet you. So who knows?
Great. Mm-hmm. So I won't be giving out their personal phone number at the end of the episode. So I don't know it.
Darn.
Yeah. You're going to get all kinds of weird calls.
Oh, I'm sure.
All right. Well, I was on your podcast a couple months ago, I think it was, and I really had fun with that. And I thought this was going to be the easiest interview to prepare for because I would just take all of your questions and ask them and ask you them. But then I started reading a bit more about Iowa and finding out some things. And that was a lot of fun. Got to know my own state a little bit better. So some of these questions I'm going to ask you tonight, I didn't actually find out till just yesterday. So
that happens on our podcast too.
Okay,
we definitely learn a lot as we're doing stuff. That's great.
It was a lot of fun. There's a lot that made it to the cutting room floor, but Iowa's an odd place. So we'll just put it that way.
I like odd. Odd is good.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, you often ask your guests about their New York City connection. So I wanted to ask you about your Iowa connection. Do you know where it's on the map, where it's at least?
I know the shape of it.
Yeah.
I don't have a connection. Do you
I know
have
where
one?
I know where it's at. I believe I have relatives that live somewhere in Iowa. I don't know. I mean, it's distant relatives, so I don't know who they are. But there's the ones that, like, when you're a child, you see as like, oh, this is your cousin. He lives in Iowa. And then like 40 years go by and you get like a pop-up like, this person on Facebook wants to be your friend, and it's someone from Iowa, and you're like, I don't know who that. And then you realize, oh, it's like the one friend in common is like your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, maybe that's my cousin from Iowa. So I think I have family there. I don't keep in touch with them.
Yeah, I don't. I have family in Missouri. Like my mom's side of the family. There's some, same thing.
Are we just saying states where
states
we have
around
relatives?
you? But like, yeah. So I've been like, around that area, but I've never been to Iowa. No.
Sure. Yeah, it's funny. People mistake us with Idaho. or Ohio is another one we get mixed up with, and
Oh yeah.
we just all tend to kind of blend together. It's because it's all very similar geography, so it's no wonder. And we all do corn and pigs and cows. So
Nice.
yeah. All right. Now, this one might be too easy for you to answer, or you can just direct people to your podcast. But another question you ask is Christmas in your city. And Chris, I'm not going to have all the fancy jingles and stuff with these, but how does your city celebrate Christmas? But I guess direct you to your podcast, right?
Yeah, I mean, name the activity and
Right.
New York City does it.
Let me ask it this way. What is your favorite thing to do in New York City at Christmas time?
That's a good one.
You go first.
Oh, I have to go first. Darn.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think. There's so many things I love doing here. I'm going to go with the window displays. I love seeing the window displays. Every now and then they're not, I've gotten a little disappointed in the past for some of them, but when they really hit it, ooh, it's so cool. They really do some cool things with the windows all down Fifth Avenue. Obviously Macy's is, they have all the windows displays there. So that's one of my favorite things to do, is to walk around and see all the, not even the main ones, just side streets, even like on our little neighborhoods. Everyone loves to deck out their windows and stuff and really make the streets feel Christmassy. So yeah, I would say that's probably my favorite thing. Chris, do you have one?
I was going to say all the window displays on Fifth Avenue.
No, you weren't. You're a liar.
I just, in general, I'm just sort of fascinated with Rockefeller Center, just like the history of it, and like it's the means in which it became Rockefeller Center as opposed to just like rows of houses. I like walking around in there. It's really fun. There's a lot of open public area where you can walk in the basement. There's like a food court down there, and you have a lot more access than you think you do in Rockefeller Center. So I like that area to begin with, but then you add Christmas onto it and all the decorations and all the fun stores and stuff. I really think that maybe Rockefeller Center in general, the whole area of it, is what I like most about Christmas in New York City.
Now, and that's where the tree is at, right? You said, right?
Yeah, that's where like where the big main tree. There's other trees out sporadically around the city, but that's the one that people usually head towards, a big famous one.
Mm-hmm.
Now you did a video walking tour of that. It was not this last Christmas time, right?
Yeah, we did one last Christmas, and we've done some other tours randomly on YouTube, especially this coming year. I got a nice little camera that I'm going to be using to do a lot more walking tours. We're going to be walking up and down Fifth Avenue and all over around and looking around and looking for holiday decorations and stuff. So yeah, we have a lot of videos on YouTube now, and like a ton more planned just to kind of showcase the city in Christmas.
Yeah, I can remember watching one of them. I don't know if it was the pandemic or what, but seeing all those people around was getting me a little.
It was the pandemic, because we were definitely anxious too.
That was terrifying.
Yeah,
especially going from like being inside for like 9 months at that point, or something, 10 months at that point, to like, all right, we're gonna go and check it out, and then you just get there, and most people were wearing masks, some weren't, but it's still just like being just like the 2.5 of us in our apartment for that long, and all of a sudden we're like around tons of people, like random people. It's a bit much, but I mean, yeah.
We definitely weren't expecting there to be that many people there. I think we even went on like a weekday thinking it was going to be no problem. And we were a little surprised. I think when we got there, like, oh no, like we thought tourists weren't coming back yet. But that was not the case. But it wasn't actually that bad. I think it seemed a little bit worse on camera, because we've seen it. And like, when it is tourists, a lot of tourists and stuff here, and it gets very packed over there. So it wasn't as bad as you might think it was, because there's like a little light show that happens. So usually when that happens, that's when the crowd kind of gathers. So as soon as it ends in like 2 minutes, they all disperse. So it wasn't as bad as it definitely seemed on camera. But yeah, I mean, we were anxious the whole time too.
Okay. Yeah. Sitting at home having an anxiety attack. Like, oh, those people, what are they doing?
Yeah.
No.
Get away from each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. All right. How about some neighborhood watch time here?
Oh goodness.
Oh, fun.
Yes. Now on your show, you have the 911 calls and all that, and which ones are the real ones. But I looked at trying to find some of our local 911 calls, and they were all really depressing. So
no.
Yeah, that happens.
We live in a community of very elderly people for the most part. So, you get in the phone calls about, heart attacks or farm accidents, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, well,
those aren't funny.
No.
Well, it depends on what the farm accident is.
Well, that's true. Yeah. So what I'm doing instead is these are things you might call the police for, but they're actually, it's going to be true or false. So I got 3 of them, and you got to decide if it's true or false. And I'll let you both answer. We'll see who can get the most points or get the most right. So tonight it's Kris versus Kris. Yeah. And
I predict Kris is going to win.
Me too.
I think so.
I predict that too.
Although one could say we're all losers. I don't know. But.
Yeah, wouldn't be the first time I've been called that, but whatever.
Okay. Here we go. Question 1: true or false? In 1997, at the University of Iowa Hawkeyes football game, they were playing against Minnesota, and the drummer for the opposing team had a cup of water thrown in his face by Herky the Hawk. That's the mascot. After the drummer used his drumstick to tap Herky on his shoulder. As Herky skipped away, he was tackled from behind by the drummer. And rather than taking the offered hand to help him up, Herky broke the drummer's glasses with a punch to his face. The end result of Herky's assault on the drummer was the breaking of the historic 40-year-old cheerbird's head. Members of the Minnesota band took small trophy pieces of the broken helmet back to Minnesota, and the helmet was remade of Kevlar for the 1998 season.
See, this is how little I know about sports. For the half the story, I thought it was the actual bird that was doing all this.
Oh, well, it's
the idea
mascot.
of mascots. I didn't even think of it. I was like, so a bird threw a cup of water, like with a talon?
No, it's
gosh.
The costume.
Yeah, now I get it.
Yeah.
Now I better win this one.
Well, then what do you think?
I think it's true. I think it's 100% true. Yeah. There were just too many details in there.
It's such a story. That's the thing. Yeah. I want it to be true. Yeah. I'm going to say it's true as well.
All right. It's true.
Yeah.
That's
a crazy story.
I'm not a football fan, but apparently this happened on, what's the date here? November 22nd, 1997. And it was a really cold day. And I guess Herky got tired of being drummed on by the drummer. And you gotta watch out for those mascots. I did worry about how long it was and how detailed it was, but
but you got to get all those things in there. It's too good.
It's too good to cut anything out. Yeah. So I made sure the others were long as well. So throw you off.
All right.
Number 2. It's not just politics that makes Iowa first in the nation. Between 2001 and 2015, there have been 80.8 per 100,000. So the population per 100,000 population, there has been 80.8 UFO sightings, along with 1,329 alien abduction reports since the Roswell alien crash in 1947, making Iowa first in the nation of UFO sightings and reported abductions.
Dang. That's a good one.
Well, here's the thing with UFO sightings. Whenever I hear UFO sightings, because they're unidentified, they could literally be anything. It could be a weather balloon. It could just be like a Doritos bag that caught a wind the wrong way.
Yeah.
So like UFOs don't do it for me, but it's the abductions that's the tricky part.
Yeah. I kind of feel like this could have been pulled maybe like another state. Like maybe that's not Iowa. Mm-hmm. Is Iowa known for the UFO sightings? Oh.
What else are they doing?
I know. Yeah.
Farming.
Yeah, farming, looking up at the sky, just thinking about what's up there.
Yeah.
Put yourself in their shoes.
Ooh, what are you going to say?
I'll say false. I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
why I think that, but I want to say false.
I was thinking false as well, because I feel like it might be another state. But I'm gonna go opposite of you because one of us we can't just tie this thing. So I'm gonna say true.
All right, that is false.
Oh darn! I should have stuck with it.
It was another state. I got that. I was trying to find it now. I think I can remember. If you can, do you have a guess as to what is the
I was
number
thinking
one
like,
state?
was it like Nevada?
No, actually, it's out on the East Coast,
Oh,
Interesting.
really? I would not have thought
Yeah.
that.
Be like,
and I can't remember what it was. Now I was trying to find it here, but it was like New Hampshire, or,
Oh, interesting.
Connecticut, somewhere out there. I don't know about the abductions. I saw that as another report. I don't remember what state. I just pulled that number from another state, but yeah, it wouldn't have surprised me though if Iowa was number one on that.
Yeah, that could
do
have
you
gone
know
either
anyone?
way.
Do you know anyone that's been abducted, or
No.
that has stories of abduction?
No, not any that would be reliable.
Okay.
Other than, well, I know why you saw visions. You were,
Right.
out in the back pasture. Yeah. Yeah. Not any that were easily explained. Right. All right. Third, true or false. So here we go. Do you enjoy murder? And who doesn't? Visitors have reported everything from a door opening and closing on its own, feeling chills and being pinched, to hearing children laughing and playing with toys in empty rooms. Experience these sensations and more in the Basilica Axe Murder House Museum, where 8 people, including 6 children, were murdered in their sleep over 100 years ago by an unknown killer. You can tour the house in the backyard cemetery or make a reservation to spend the night, if you dare.
I don't dare.
This
I
is
don't dare.
It's true. It's true.
It's got to be true.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't dare to do that.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
this is definitely true. Yes.
Okay.
I
That sounds crazy.
Oh man, I was looking at that and I'm like, why would anyone do that?
There's a lot of people that love to chase this thing. I mean, I love a ghost story. I don't even mind ghost tours. I think they're fun, but don't make me spend the night somewhere where I'm
Yeah.
going to hear noises. There's no way.
Yeah.
I need an exit plan if I'm going to do stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you ever done that before? Have you ever stayed there?
No, I've never been there or toured it or anything, but I've heard of it, and I might find it interesting, but I think it's pretty ghoulish.
I think if you do, you should probably film it. Post that on YouTube or something. That'll be like our way of seeing it, because otherwise
There you go.
not happening.
All right, you guys did pretty good. So maybe I need to ask harder questions next time. Well, you had a 50-50 chance. So
Yeah.
okay. We'll go on to the honorary New Yorker quiz, or the yeah.
That's a tough one with Iowa.
Yeah, honorary Iowa or Iowan quiz. There we go. Question 1, and this is a bit vague, so we'll see. What is the butter cow?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Other than a cow made of butter.
Oh gosh. Well, that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
My thought was, I feel like I've heard about or seen some type of news article where like some like county or state fair had like a butter sculpture that was shaped like a cow. So that's what I would have thought. But if it's not shaped like a cow, then who knows what it is?
A butter cow. Is it a cow that's milk is thicker?
Yeah. It's a very unhealthy cow.
It's butter.
It goes out butter.
It's really, really thick milk. Yeah. Oh man, I wish that was true, but no, Chris, you were pretty close there. It is a sculpture made of butter, and it's featured at the state fair every year, along with other designs carved out of butter as well, including one year they had Brandon Routh as Superman carved out of butter because he was an Iowan.
Cool.
So this this is, and I've seen it a few times. It's really weird, but it's, I mean, it is what it says. It's a butter cow, it's, they said it's 600 pounds of, this is oddly specific, but it's 600 pounds of low moisture, pure cream Iowa butter.
In case you wanted to remake it.
Yeah.
You got to know which one to use.
That's the recipe.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Well, when I saw it, all I wanted was toast. So
I was literally just going to say, do you get toast? And everyone just like rubs the toast on the cow afterwards.
Oh, that would be awesome. It'd be gross, but
you can rub a corn cob in the cow's armpit.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Great.
This is genius ideas here.
Yeah. This is why we're not allowed at the Iowa State Fair.
That's right.
We come with corn in our hand ready.
That's right. I also read that, now, speaking of toast, that you can make 19,200 slices of toast with the butter, the ratio. It depends on your ratio, I guess.
Whoa, that's a lot of toast.
It's enough butter for that much toast.
Do you know what they do with all the butter afterwards?
I don't.
Actually,
I do.
Right?
I read that they actually recycle most of it to be used for the next year. So
oh, really? Okay.
I guess they just scrape it all off and put it in a
so
pile.
I definitely don't want to rub corn all over that. It's like
it
years old butter.
Like 30-year-old butter.
Gross.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they reuse it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it started maybe back in the 30s or something. And I'm going to get all my Iowa listeners now angry at me.
Right.
This is a secret date.
Yeah.
It's a national holiday in Iowa.
I feel like even storing that much butter is crazy because that means that's a huge refrigerator you have to store this butter in for a whole year before you make it again. That's a lot of work. Yeah.
And when you go in to see it, it's in all these giant refrigerated cases, and so they have the butter cow and you have whatever the year's theme is and sculpted in butter and different things. It was then I realized Iowans have too much time on their hands.
Yeah, that or butter or both.
Too much butter there.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. We got another true or false question here. So we'll see how well I do on this one. The Iowa Writers Workshop is the greatest of its kind in the world, and its alumni have won 17 Pulitzer Prizes. Notable alums include Philip Roth, Marilyn Robinson, and David Milch. Is that true or false?
True.
Yeah, I'm going to say true as well.
All right, that is true.
Yes.
Yay.
All right. Now, is that a guess or did you have some?
I didn't have any idea, but it seemed very likely. So.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no reason why it can't be a place where people are excellent writers.
That being said, why are there not very many bookstores in Iowa? That's what I want to know.
Oh, yeah. That's bizarre.
Yeah. And it could be, there's just a lot of small towns. So, they don't.
Yeah, but small town bookstores are the best. Even like in New York City, it's always like in the smaller areas, the little town, like, part of our boroughs and stuff. Those are the bookstores that are just the best, in the smaller towns.
Yeah, there is one, is it Northeast Iowa? I think it's called Prairie Lights Bookstore, and it's kind of probably the most well-known in Iowa anyway.
Yeah.
President Obama was there a few years ago. That caused everyone to either celebrate or hide in their basement with their guns.
Right. One or the other.
Yeah.
It was known.
Yeah. So like, oh, he's here. We some of the big cities will have things like Barnes and Noble or Half Price Books or something. But yeah, there's not a lot here. That's it's hard for a bookworm.
Yeah. That's tough.
But yeah, I already knew that. Like, I didn't know the number of Pulitzer Prize winners, but I knew that the Iowa Writers Workshop was pretty famous. When I first heard about that, I thought, that can't be right. This is Iowa. We don't produce anything but athletes and corn. But
and Superman. And
Superman. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So this one, you might say is unfair because it could be another guess. But how many acres of corn are there in Iowa? Now, to give you an idea, there is 35.7 million acres of land in Iowa, or of land. And then there's 30.6 million acres of farmland in Iowa. So that would include all the crops. That would include farm buildings, silos, the place to keep their cows and pigs. I don't know.
Right.
So how much acre of corn are there in Iowa? And I guess this would be a recent statistic too. So
okay. Chris, you go first.
In 1932, there was.
How many acres altogether was there?
Altogether, from what I researched online. So if this is wrong, it's not my fault. There were 35.7 million acres of land in Iowa, with about 30 million in farmland.
Okay, 30 million in farmland.
I'm going to say I have a guess. If you don't have one yet.
I mean, it was a shot. 10 million.
I'm going to say 18 million.
Yeah, it was 19 million.
Oh.
So you were very close.
I got it right.
Yeah, you did.
That was close.
Yeah.
Cool. That's really crazy.
Yeah. And most of it is like seed corn. So it's not sweet corn. We get teased a lot about, in Iowa, all you have is corn to eat. And they produce some pretty good sweet corn if you get it at the right time. But most of it is seed corn, that you'd use for like cattle and animals like that. So this says also that about 1/3 of the best farmland in the United States is located in Iowa.
Oh,
so
that's something to be proud of. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I get out there, till it every morning.
Great work. You're doing a good job.
They say that Iowa feeds the world. So I don't know how true that is, but
you feed the animals that might help feed the world as well. So
yeah,
it's twofold there.
True. Of course, I can grow nothing but weeds. So what are you going to do? True or false? In Riverside, Iowa, you can find a statue and plaque memorializing the town as the future birthplace of James T. Kirk. That's from Star Trek.
Yeah.
If you're Trekkie fans, okay.
Well, I don't know about her.
I know who it was. Couldn't say I'm like a, full-on fan. I'm going to say it's false, only because a lot of other things have been true so far. I don't have any real reason.
I know that the plaque exists. I just don't know where it is. I don't remember him. I mean, I guess I'm not much of a Trekkie or a Trekker or whatever they call themselves. But I do recall that being a thing. So I'm going to say it's true. He's probably from Iowa. I think he probably is. So yeah, I'll say true.
That is true.
Ah.
Yeah, and actually, I went and saw it once. It was really strange. Riverside is this tiny little Iowa town, probably a little bigger than Walnut, not much. They're in the middle of all these old street front. You walk down this little sidewalk to this back area, and there's this statue and plaque, and there's flowers, and it just looks like a memorial for an actual person. And there on the plaque it says, future birthplace of James T. Kirk. So
that's pretty great.
This is weird, but I guess they have a Star Trek convention there every year, and I've always wanted to get down there sometime when they're doing it, but haven't made it yet. So
I'm sure that statue is a popular place during the con.
Yes. All right, one more here for your Iowa quiz. True or false? The movie The Field of Dreams, it's a baseball movie set in Iowa, was actually filmed in neighboring Galena, Illinois, because of the tax incentives. The Field of Dreams Museum was built in Dyersville, Iowa, solely for the tourist dollars, and has led many people to think that the film was made there. And a rivalry between the two towns continues to this day.
That sounds very plausible.
I feel like I would have heard about that. I'm going to say that's false.
I'm going to say it's true.
All right, that is false.
Darn it. I'm not good at this. Like one
Chris.
thing right.
You're
Figures.
batting 1,000 here.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah. Now, yeah, that was. I've been to that. I don't. Have you guys seen the Field of Dreams?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that was filmed in Iowa and almost entirely in that town, in fact.
Oh,
and
cool.
then they filmed a few scenes in Galena, Illinois, and some other places, but most of it was filmed here in Iowa. And I've got a baseball from there up on my shelf over there. But
nice.
It's a pretty neat place.
Very cool.
Probably not worth the 3-hour drive to get there, but
Oh, yikes. Yeah.
It would be more than 3 for us to get there.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unless you really like that movie or
Right.
baseball, Here we're going to do. You have a quiz you call "Did You Forget About It?" I'm not going to try the New York accent, but instead of asking you questions about things I've said on the podcast, I'm going to ask you questions about each other
to
see if you have forgotten important details about your spouse's personality or life.
Okay.
Oh, geez, this is tough. All right, I'm ready.
Thanks, Art.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's gonna make for an interesting night.
I'm here to break marriages. Okay. All right, Chris with a C.
Yeah, it works.
I'll ask you this first because you've got the perfect record so far. So, where was your first date?
We didn't really have a first date. We kind of hung out as a group of friends of ours. So I don't really remember where we went by ourselves. It was probably maybe hanging out at one of our houses or something, but we didn't really have like a normal courtship like that. We were just friends, and then we kind of became a couple. So not really anywhere, probably.
Do you remember where we went with that group on the first time we hung out?
I remember going to a diner where there was a diner somewhere do you remember? With Jason
but that
and
wasn't,
Beth. That was
there was an activity we did.
Miniature golf?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I still have, I think, the end of a putter that broke and you gave it to me.
Yeah.
Really random. But whatever.
Pretty cool flex on my end. Let me just break this putter and give it to her as a gift. This is how strong I am. I can provide for our family.
Yeah. I don't know. We were young and goofy. It made sense at the time.
That's awesome. My wife and I, we kind of had a similar thing. We like to say we started officially dating before we actually ever had a date.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we worked together, we hung out together, we had all the same friends, we were always together, and actually we were at a Dairy Queen with a bunch of friends, and we were joking around, and so I made this ring out of the plastic straw I was drinking out of, and so I gave it to her, and I proposed to her in Dairy Queen just as a joke, and she took it seriously. No. So we were joking around about being engaged and stuff. We were just friends and all that. Mm-hmm. And I think I was dating someone else at the time.
Oh, nice. No. Nice one, Art.
Yeah. Revealing all these secrets. So, but she actually kept that for quite a while. I don't think she has it anymore, but she held on to that for a while. So, it's
strange the things we hold on to. I don't know. What that is, but I definitely have some of those random items like that.
Yeah. All right. Now this would be a question for each other. What is your spouse's favorite drink, or favorite holiday drink? Since we're a Christmas podcast, we'll make it Christmas.
Well, Chris's is eggnog. 100%. It's got to be. We're searching for it when October hits.
Yeah.
Eggnog. Am I right?
Okay. Yeah, you're definitely right. It's absolutely eggnog is delicious. Before I try to answer hers, which it might very well be eggnog, I don't know, and I know she's already thinking of it. We've told this story before on another podcast or in one of our podcasts, but up until maybe, what would you say, 5 years ago, 5, not even 10 years,
something like that. Yeah,
she had no idea what eggnog was, and in fact, she thought it was more like buttermilk. to where like I would buy eggnog for the season or whatever and come home and drink it, and she'd be like, no, I don't want any of that, thinking that I was just like chugging buttermilk.
I don't know what you'd be into. My family
Not
drinks
that.
buttermilk, so
Not that.
whatever.
No way.
No.
Listen, I'm from the South. People have buttermilk with cornbread in it and stuff. Like, it's a thing. So I was
grinding
just like,
some nutmeg over a big old cup of buttermilk.
I don't know what it is. It has egg in the title, Like, is it going to be like eggy? I don't know.
Yeah.
But no one told me it tasted just like ice cream or something.
Yeah, it's like melted
So
ice
good.
cream. Like, yeah, it's awesome.
It is, yes, the beverage of the gods. Yeah.
So what's my favorite?
Gosh. Well, here's we're both fans of coffee, so it could be a few different things. It could be any like seasonal coffee beverage from Starbucks or Dunkin' or whatever. They all basically do the same thing. Or it could also be the holiday spice Pepsi, which it's discontinued at this point, but it's more or less just like cinnamon and Pepsi.
The cinnamon Coke.
Was it cinnamon Coke? I know they had holiday Pepsi.
It wasn't
they
that
also,
one.
No,
it was the
cinnamon Coke.
That
So
was
cinnamon
the
Coke.
go-to.
Okay.
Yeah, I like all the drinks, so you're pretty much hit every single drink I like.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't forget the like Christmas morning mimosas. That's also a big deal.
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you become a mom, you just instantly just have like a affinity for like mimosas out of nowhere.
This was before I was a mom, so a nice try.
Yeah. I'm just trying to justify your drinking.
It's Christmas. Justified enough.
That's right. That's right. Next question. Do you remember what you gave each other on your first Christmas?
No.
You don't remember what you gave me?
Nah, that's an easy one. I definitely do not know.
I think it was Christmas. I can't remember if it was Christmas or birthday. I'm pretty sure it was Christmas. You gave me an air hockey table. Do you remember that? That was like the coolest present ever. It was like a legit air hockey table.
Yeah.
And then I think I got you swords.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was our first like main Christmas together. That's what we got, I think.
I do remember that. I remember also getting an NSYNC CD as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that but swords definitely. I 100% remember. It was a set of 3 swords of varying sizes.
Yeah.
That I had for a very long time, just in case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you never know when ninjas might pop out.
Yeah, and you need to have like a decorative dragon sword.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah. Is there some way you could combine the swords with the air hockey game, really create something fun?
Or something very dangerous.
Yeah. What is one item you like that your spouse would love to get rid of?
Oh, man. Let me just look around the
where
room
do I
real
start?
quick.
Where to start, yeah.
Oh, my.
Well, if you want to get rid of that shield behind you, I'll take that.
No, that's staying.
Okay.
Jeez. I feel like this is definitely more towards me than him. I tend to be the collector of things, random stuff. He's always encouraging me to, declutter and get rid of things. So I'm not really sure what's of his I would get rid of, because most of it's stuff that I bring around. He gets like logical purchases, or like tech things that you like use.
Mm-hmm.
I like random things that you put on a shelf.
Yeah.
Can you think of anything, Chris?
Silverware, plates mostly.
Oh, the plates.
We have so many plates that we don't need. We have like chipped polka dot plates for no reason.
Uh-huh.
I don't even. They're only good for like microwaving like breakfast burritos.
That's an important job.
And then one of them actually has like a metallic lining inside the plate,
Uh-huh.
which you don't think about. And for a while we didn't have a microwave because we didn't have any space. And I remember getting a microwave and throwing that one in the microwave with something on top of it, and it starts sparking like crazy. What is going on? And you look, and it's like, oh, there's like metal in this plate for no reason, and yet we still have it. It's so dangerous.
It's a nice plate. It has a
stingray on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to like plates and cups that don't really match, and they're kind of mix match, or we'll buy like 2 of something, and just become this crazy mix matched But I love them, and I also love all our mugs. Those are things that are hard for me to get rid of, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you find something like spectacular to replace it, they're staying.
I've used the same coffee mug for over a year.
Nice.
I'm in the mood for a coffee mug, so I have to choose one for my mood. So sorry.
I'm a lot like that, and actually my wife is a lot like you, Chris. She has one, maybe two mugs she'll drink out of, and I keep coming home with coffee mugs, and she's like, another one? I'm like, yeah, but this one's about fall, and this one's about Christmas, and this one is baseball, and I've got my Darth Vader coffee mug, and
Yeah, we wouldn't be good roommates, Art. We would have like full cabinets of just mugs.
Yeah. I found this meme that said, I didn't choose the mug life, the mug life chose me. And
Yeah.
it's just this old guy in a room just lined with coffee mugs. And
I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, and every season I'm like, oh, maybe there's a nice coffee mug that's good for this season.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I have mugs in a closet put away for like the next season. So they're just everywhere.
You hear what she just said? She has mugs that aren't even in rotation.
So do I.
Art's on my side. Sorry.
Yeah, nope.
Mugs are staying.
She keeps mugs like with like holiday decorations.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Got to bring them out for the holidays.
That's right. Yeah, I've got some mugs that are good for eggnog and mugs that I use for tea, but not for coffee, because I don't want the coffee to ruin the flavor of the tea. And you got to think through these things. Yeah.
Well, thanks for being on my side.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so you get about 100 bonus points for that one. So
yes.
This is kind of like the what is that show? The Whose Line Is It Anyway? Where the rules are made up and the points don't matter. Yeah.
I love it.
Last one here in this section. If your house was on fire, what's one thing your spouse would grab before leaving? I mean, besides your children or pets or anything like that, but if it was an object, what would be the one thing you'd grab?
I think about this question way too often. I'm like, man, if there's a fire, what do I need to grab out of here? Like, I just picture the things I need to get before I leave. But what would Chris pick? I don't even know.
I'm imagining you running out with your arms full of coffee cups, Save them all.
It's like all the fingers, just like they're all lined up.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Your phone, I think that's like the one thing I feel like I know you would have in your hand no matter what.
Well,
you would grab your phone.
If you look behind her on the bottom shelf, there's a ammo tin that has our passports and birth certificates.
Yeah, but that's too logical. Of course we'll take that. What's something fun you would take? And thanks for giving away our location of our secret items.
Yeah. Chris and Kris live at 1234
Right.
Yeah.
5th Avenue. In the Macy's window display.
Man, I don't know, because I feel like most of the things are replaceable. The things that we like are replaceable. Yeah, I'm not sure. Kris, do you know what I would grab?
She has some sentimental things up on a shelf over here by her desk. So I think she might try to grab some various sentimental things. But I can't think of anything nuts that she would take.
Okay, well that's a fair answer. You got your kid and each other, so out you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably make sure that I had a good pair of pants on, and a solid pair of shoes, and my wallet, so that we can stay at a hotel and I have nice clothes to wear while we're walking over to there.
Also very logical.
Yes.
Again,
while I'm grabbing all the sentimental things.
Yeah.
I'm imagining Kris. He's pulling his pants on as he's trying to get out the door, and the house.
And I have a robe and a ton of mugs in my hand.
Yeah. This is brilliant. Okay. I've talked about this with Gracie before, which is weird, but she's in school, so they do the fire safety thing,
right.
And so she's had a very serious talk with me about her teddy bear collection. And she says, Daddy, if the house ever burns, you have to come in and at least get Bear, That's her very favorite one. But then she, if there's time, then get Buddy, get Twinkle, she starts naming all of her bears. And so like, I'm not sure I'd come running into a burning building just to save a stuffed animal.
Right. Yeah. That's
I've
just
seen
going to
how
be a
that
tough loss. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I would grab Bear if there were time, but
right. Yeah. You're not going back into the burning building for that.
Right. But she was very upset with that answer.
Oh,
I was like, you want me to get hurt? And well, no, of course not. But she's like, she's like starting to cry, I don't want to lose my bear. I'm like, okay, Gracie, this is very likely not going to happen.
Yeah.
Just because you train for it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So,
yeah. Oh.
Yeah. She has a fire plan now. So first thing is grab your teddy bears and then run for it.
There you go. You got to get her a little like go bag, so she can throw them all in there real quick.
Yeah. Because I'll be downstairs grabbing my coffee cups. And
yeah.
Right. Now I wanted to ask you your questions that you ask at the end. It's called Inside Santa Studio.
It is.
You ask those questions because I'd be curious how you answer these. So hopefully I got them all written down right. But what is your favorite cookie?
And you'd think that we would have these like ready to go because we ask people all the time.
I know.
But we just enjoy the answers. So my favorite cookie is one that I don't ever really get to eat because Chris doesn't think they're that good. But I think they're my favorite because they're more sentimental. They're like candy cane cookies I used to make with my sister. They might not be the most sweet cookie in the world, but I think it's more of a sentimental thing. And when I think about them, I get, I want to eat them right now just thinking about them. So they're just like a sugar cookie, but in the shape of candy canes. Yeah, I would say that's my favorite.
She said that they're sugar cookies, but that's an exaggeration.
They taste good. Don't listen to him.
Yeah. It's like if you took like homemade Play-Doh and like we were like, I wonder if we could bake this for half an hour and then see what happens and then take it out.
Get out of here. You're so crazy.
You want me to put him on mute for a while?
Yes, please. Come on. Yay.
All right. Other Chris, do you have
absolutely chocolate chip or chocolate chunk? Pretty freshly baked, pretty soft as well. Like I don't like a crispy cookie. She also likes a crispy cookie, which I don't care for too much. So whenever we overcook a batch of cookies, they become her cookies. I still eat most of them, but they're her cookies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or we take some out and put mine back in.
Chocolate chip cookies are the best, and especially the soft and chewy kind. Those are good. How about least favorite cookie? Well, I think you just answered, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Crunchy ones.
I'd probably say a peanut butter cookie.
Yeah. Good answer. Yeah, you get a point for that. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, I have another favorite cookie. Can I say a black and white cookie? So New York City has really good black and white cookies. So I would say that's one of my faves as well. I don't know if it's not necessarily holiday-ish, but I will eat them at any point of the year.
No, what is a black and white cookie?
It's very like cake-like cookie, and it's big. They have like this big around, maybe, and then half of it has been like white chocolate icing. The other half is chocolate icing. So it's just the black and white on top. But it tastes like cake almost. It's so good and soft.
Well, I am definitely coming to New York now. That sounds good.
Yeah. It's real good. All the bakeries have them, all like the bagel shops. They all have them like in the pastry section. So yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about those when you were talking about cookies. So
that sounds really good. Yeah. All right. So when do you start decorating? It's around our anniversary,
which is November 15th. So it's usually whatever that weekend is. We're kind of like, okay, anniversary's done. Let's start decorating. And then we do the tree the day after, or the week, the day after Thanksgiving. We go and get our Christmas tree and decorate that. That's usually like our last thing. But all the other decorations go up first, probably like a week before that.
And then we have a Christmas village that we'll put up, but we usually wait because that's kind of become a huge thing in the corner of our not so tiny apartment, but so we usually kind of wait to put that up because it does take up a majority of the space in our living room.
They tend to do
Yeah,
that.
it's a lot.
Yeah. But it's so fun to sit and like stare at them, and you can think of stories like little figurines or walking home with grabbing some last minute gifts or something. You just stare at them.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
I really enjoy
I'm excited for
Christmas
this year. We decided that we're going up another level. So we're going to have a nice 3-level village coming this year.
All
Yeah.
right. That sounds great. Be sure to post pictures.
Will do.
So then, when do you put them away? Your decorations away?
It's usually when we start feeling a little claustrophobic. So like it's a January, obviously. I would say maybe the second week of January. It's usually around like, okay, things are starting. There's a lot of stuff around. So we kind of want to clear it up a little bit. So yeah, I would say second week of January. What do you think, Chris? Is that fair?
We sort of dial back the traditional Christmas decorations, but for a while after, we'll have just winter decorations.
Yeah.
Whether those are like pine cones or whatever else, or some garland,
snowy animals. And stuff.
Things that kind of make the season a little longer and kind of showcase winter, but not necessarily the holidays. And that usually kind of gets us through until
like March.
Yeah. And there's we have things in our apartment that are still up from last Christmas. We were just talking on our podcast. We had all of our Christmas cards up hanging on the back of our front door with magnets, and those were up until maybe 2 months ago or something.
No, it was 2 weeks ago, I think. Okay. It was pretty recent.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I
just like looking at everybody and their families, because people send pictures now, So it's lovely to have a little collage of everybody, and then you get to leave and look at all the Christmassy stuff. But yeah, it was time. It was time to remove them, get ready for the new ones.
Yep. Yeah, we still have a birthday card I gave my wife, but it was a Christmas card. Her birthday's in December, but it was with an elephant, and it was really adorable. She likes it so much it's still hanging up on our door. It's our basement door, but yeah, it's been there 2 years.
Oh, nice. You got us beat.
That's right. Yep. All right. What's your favorite festive word?
I'm gonna say jingle. I like jingle.
All right.
Jingle bells. Yeah, all that stuff. Jingle jangle. I don't know. It's just a fun word.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. It's a sound as well. So it's an onomatopoeia. I don't know. I like it.
I like probably jolly. I think jolly is a good one. Jolly sort of encompasses a lot of fun things and obviously nice emotions and stuff. I think about Santa Claus when I think of jolly. I think jolly probably. I'll probably think of so many better ones as soon as we stop recording.
Yeah, same. Yeah. All right. And then what Christmas song do you love, and which Christmas song do you hate?
Let's see. I love Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. The classic one that always just kind of gets me moving. I get really excited about it. And Silver Bells obviously is classic. Chris, do you want to name your favorites before we name what we like the least?
Yeah, my favorite Christmas song is without a doubt. Besides the standards, because those are almost, I feel like it's not fair to pick those. My favorite Christmas song, it's a song from the Bare Naked Ladies Christmas album, Naked for the Holidays. It's called The Elves Lament. It's featuring Michael Bublé, or I call him Michael Bubbles.
Mikey Bubbles.
Mikey Bubbles. It's a fantastic song about disgruntled elves and renegotiating their contracts. I think it's a fun song, and it's so that's that. It's called The Elves Lament. That's my favorite song. And my least favorite song, I'm going to jump right into that, is that Mariah Carey one. I don't care for that one at all.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, I'm not a fan of hers very much, her music, but it's just become such a thing that you hear in a classic that it just kind of, it's in the background now for me. It doesn't stand out. I mean, I guess same as everyone says on our show, it's that Christmas Shoes song. I don't even bother keeping it on for longer than 2 seconds. I don't really even know too much of it, but I know that I don't want to listen to it.
Yeah.
It's one time was enough.
Yep. That Mariah Carey one, I like it, but all the other songs on that album I can't even stand to listen to.
Oh yeah.
But
I didn't even realize there were other songs on the album. I in my head, I didn't even think there was an album. I just figured it was that song.
yeah, a lot of people said it's like one of the best Christmas albums ever. And I'm like, no, I don't. And I'm glad you like it, but nope. If you were an elf at Santa's workshop, what profession would you do? And what profession would you like not to do?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. I wouldn't mind being on some type of assembly line. I mean, just making toys. It seems like it'd be interesting. I mean, you could probably they probably play Christmas music while you're at work, and I'm sure the hours are fun. And they probably unionized by now, as according to the Bare Naked Ladies song.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, something like that. I mean, it's work, so you do it and you get it done, and then you have fun afterwards. So
Yeah. I mean, I would probably do the thing that everyone says I don't want to do and take care of the reindeer. I'd love to take care of the reindeer. You know, I'll scoop their poop. I'm okay with that as long as I get to also feed them, play with them, you know, all that fun stuff too. But I also wouldn't mind making toys because I love making stuff. I like building, creating things. So maybe part of that assembly line as well. I can have 2 jobs, part-time, you know.
There you go. A couple part-time jobs. Yeah.
Yeah. What job I would hate? I think I would hate doing any of like the minute, just like, I don't want to do any admin in the North Pole. You know, leave that stuff for this world. North Pole, someone else can deal with all of that kind of stuff, the logistics. Let me just have the fun.
I worked a long time. I went to culinary school. I'm technically a chef. And for a lot of the years after working or going to culinary school, I worked in restaurants. So I would probably not want to work in an elf restaurant or some type of eating establishment because it's not necessarily a fun job. So so I wouldn't want to cook anyone food in the North Pole.
Yeah, I get that. Yep.
Yeah.
If the North Pole exists, what would you like to hear Santa say when you visit his workshop?
Do you want to ride the reindeers?
You just want to be with the reindeer.
Just want to fly around on some reindeer.
Yeah.
I would like him to say, "Hey, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize this was stuck in the bottom of the sled for such a long time. But I know a bunch of years ago you asked for the Home Alone board game and you never got it. And I'm sorry, but it's right here and you can have it right now and play with it."
That's great.
That's oddly specific. Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of all the questions I had here. There was one more. Let me make sure I can get it up here. See how well you can remember. I'm just going to throw this out there. What was your first episode about? Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember. It was about, I can tell you more than just that. Outside of the trailer that I think it's just maybe like a minute or so, our first episode was about Bryant Park. And I remember because we had spent so much time writing like the history of it and like how it started more or less, and then what they do there and some of the booths and stuff. And we're like, all right, this is great. We're going to record this. We had like a bunch of pages and it's going to be a nice length of podcast. And I think it only ended up being 2 minutes. So we're like, I don't know if we're going to be able to do a podcast because I don't know what we could possibly talk about for more than 2 minutes. And I felt like that was like the most prep we've ever put in anything before. And it was not enough at all.
Yeah. It was really short.
So much so that I think I went back afterwards and said like our first mini episode, because I didn't want people to think like this is what we were going to be putting out. And we now our normal episodes are probably about 20 minutes or so it's pretty digestible. Then we had the longer chat ones that those can be anywhere between 45 minutes and an hour. But it was definitely Bryant Park was the first one.
Yep. All right. Good memory there. Yeah. I looked at that yesterday. I was looking for questions and I thought, I wonder if they would know what their first one was. So
that's a good question.
Yeah. All right. Well, where can folks find you if they want to come stalk you online?
You can find us. We are all over social media, the ones that like adults use. So TikTok, you're not going to find us there or whatever, or Twitter. It doesn't seem like a lot of adults are on Twitter anymore anyway. At least they don't act like adults. So yeah, we're on Instagram and Facebook, and we have a website, Christmas Time in the City. You can find us just by searching Christmas Time in the City. We have a YouTube channel that, like I mentioned earlier, we're posting a lot more content up, a lot of videos of New York City to kind of showcase a lot of the fun things that we do here. We're pretty active on social media, so feel free to hit us up. And then,
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Chris and Kris, thank you for being on the podcast today, and appreciate your time. It's great.
Thanks for
chatting
having
with you.
us.
Thank you very much for having us. We really appreciate it. We've been looking forward to this for as soon as you mentioned it to us. We've been looking forward to it, probably more than we probably should have been looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was definitely excited to play some games that I didn't have to be on the other end of. I was like,
Okay,
ooh, I get to
good.
play a game. This is great.
Awesome. Yeah. I like being on other people's podcasts because I don't have to worry about any of the editing or anything. Just
Right. Let's just show up, have a good time,
show
and
up,
good
have
luck,
fun.
Art.
Yep.
You can do whatever you want. You can just cough and just mumble to yourself. Like, I don't care. You can just edit that out yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. But I actually don't mind the editing. I find it kind of fun, but it does get tedious after a while.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, it's so weird. You get to recognize, I know what that little squiggle is. That's me saying, yeah. All right. Well, thanks again, guys. And folks, you take a minute to go find their podcast and listen to it. It's a great one. It's a lot of fun. So thank you, Chris and Kris, and we'll have you on again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So how did you do on the quizzing? There are so many crazy things that have happened in Iowa that didn't make it into the trivia questions. So I may have to revisit this at some point in the future and just share some more with you about some of the oddities that have happened here in Iowa. So if you'd like to learn more about the show, please do go to cozychristmaspodcast.com. You can find out more about the show, episodes I've posted, ways to support the show, things of that nature. So until next time, be kind to each other and do good. And remember that there's nothing in the world more irresistibly contagious than laughter and good humor. And if you can't remember to laugh, then just forget about it. Have a very Merry Christmas.